And it's 23 minutes after 8 here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. My name is Johnny Hughes, Eddie Grant there with Give Me Hope. Is there hope? Well, we'll find out in the coming days as we travel along. But stay with us here. There's some great hope all for you. Dr. Adam Bonner is joining us on the phone line. He is with the Security Warehouse as a security and safety analyst. You remember earlier in the week we had spoken with him about the Konkonsa police report by the bipartisan committee in Parliament. And then we also spoke with COP retired George Mensah. Adam Bonner is on record to have said that COP Mensah and all the others, including Superintendent JB and Superintendent Asari, need to be brought back. In fact, COP need to be brought back, but all three of them need to face the full rigors of the law because they misbehaved while they wore the uniform. In a sharp rebuttal, in a very sharp rebuttal, COP Alex Mensah says whoever is asking for him to be brought back to be, and punished must have his head examined. Now, that was quite a sharp one to say. Dr. Adam Bonner did not take it lightly, so we give him a right of reply. Listen to what COP Alex Mensah said. Listen to him.
Spoke the truth, nothing.
Would you have repeated what you told the media house to the committee if you had been allowed to answer?
Media house? What did I tell the media house?
Well, you told the media house that you have always been a card-bearer member of the MPP. You had supported projects underground and all of that.
I even told the committee that I was born into the New Patriotic Party and I will remain a member of the New Patriotic Party for life. So I won't change it. How can I change it?
There are those who are calling for your head in terms of bringing you back to the service and trying you and then taking away your benefits because of your conduct while you were in uniform and in office, and the contents of the tape that has been ascertained by the committee. What do you say to them?
Who is saying that?
Dr. Adam Bonner.
No sensible person can say that. No sensible person can make that comment. No sensible.
FM 92.7.
Anybody who makes that comment has to check his brains. He'll be sent to the mental hospital and check his brains.
And what will we be looking for in that test?
Ask him, I don't know. Maybe his brain is not working well.
Do you think you conducted yourself well while in office, a very high-ranking police officer, COP, meeting with politicians and
you think it's easier to be in the police service and get to the rank of a commissioner of police? My brother.
Dr. Adam Bonner, good morning to you.
Oh, good morning to you, Johnny.
And how are you this morning?
I'm in good spirits.
COP Alex Mensah said your head must be examined. What do you say?
Well, before I go into that, let me congratulate you. I'm watching the New Day,
right,
and there's a lot of praises for you.
Thank you.
And so I said maybe they have to give you a national award. There's a lot of the guys are praising you everywhere.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes. As for COP Alex Mensah, you know he's been in self-denial from day one. And since the reports came out, he's also come out, he even attempted to say the report is not legitimate until what's the name? Atachian signed the report.
Right.
And I'm surprised that he's even a lawyer, because before you talk, is one thing I say, that don't talk when you don't have all the facts, because then the report has been laid, distributed to Parliament, the parliamentarians. What is left is for the debate to unfold, for it to be taken at the floor, and then the debate to ensue, and then whatever actions, they will start them. And so Atachian not signing per their own standing orders. Adachian does not even have an original vote. He not signing is immaterial. It does not invalidate the report. Then the report is legitimate. Two, there are 3 MPP members who were on the committee and 3 NDC. 2 of them signed, including Madam Ophelia, who is now a cabinet minister, and then Yao Buama also, a respected lawyer also, including Agaga, Tuobu, and the rest. All of them signed. So I'm wondering how a unanimously signed report, because one person did not sign. One person who doesn't have an original vote would say it will. Someone like him, someone like COP Alex Mensah, would come out and say that it's not legitimate. And when I refer to the fact that the convention in security circles, but this is common sense and commonsensical. If you served in the security service and you committed a crime whilst in service and you are no longer there, they bring you back and try you. And whichever punishment it is given to you, as if what do you call it? You are still in service. So I'm not too sure why he, praising himself to be COP, is not aware of this convention that is everywhere. We are aware of it everywhere. And so, as far as I'm concerned, but you see, drug addiction is something that we need to take seriously.
Who's drug addiction?
I'm just saying it.
Okay.
I can't say someone.
Right.
Drug addiction is something we need to take seriously, and is the reason why we must build a lot of rehab centers, so that when some of our senior citizens, sometimes are high on certain things, and they lose their focus and they do certain things. So for me,
how is drug addiction connected to this conversation?
No, I'm just bringing it. Probably it will help people build rehab centers all over the country, Johnny. And so all that I'm saying is that drug addiction is not good, but we need rehab centers. Government should try and do that. But for him saying that, what's the name?
You have to be. Your head has to be examined.
I have to be examined.
Right.
I believe between myself and him, the general public is able to do their own deduction and know who needs to be examined. If anybody has to be examined, it is obviously not me. Because if I'm the police service and I want to be IGP, I'll not go and see Bugri Nabu. If I'm in the service and I want to, even if me as an ordinary person, a citizen and not a spectator, a private person and in a private life, if I want, why would I go and see Bugri Nabu for anything? Why would I? And so if you ask, like I told you, drug addiction, sometimes when you are high, but all that I would say is that, Johnny, as far as I'm concerned, if anybody needs to be examined, I think that respectfully, my senior brother, COP, Alex Mensah, who needs to be brought back and tried for whatever offenses he's not alleged, because the report didn't say alleged. The report says, in fact, he committed it. And so I'm sure he needs to be brought back and then looked at.
Doc, I don't understand something. Help me. I don't understand something. So I ask you about COP Alex Mensah, who said that your head has to be examined because you have asked for him to be brought back to the service and tried. And then along the line in your answer, you mentioned drug addiction, you mentioned senior citizens, people get high and talk anyhow. I don't understand. Maybe you help me to draw the connection.
Freedom of speech. Johnny, all that I'm trying to say is that drug addiction is not good. Young people are high. Senior people are also high on substances. So, as far as I'm concerned, if he says that if he is saying certain things, well, I won't say the same thing to him. But all that I can say is that we need to build rehab centers. But just like he said that, I need to be examined. I don't think the two of us, if you listen to the commentary and the self-denial and approbating and reprobating, as a lawyer, he's supposed to know We see when you go to the equity courts, or those days the chancery, of where equity, they would, the equity will not allow him to do what he's doing, but exactly that is what he's doing. You go and say, I'm a member of the UP, and then Atachan stops you from answering. Then you now come out because you are looking for votes. You now come and say, I am a fool, I've been a card-bearing member, and I've been donating since day one, I've been helping the constituency. And you know that equity will not allow the people to vote for you. Equity, the law of equity will not allow you,
Dr. Bonner,
for the people to vote for you.
Dr. Bonner, you know that one of the requirements to becoming a member of parliament in this country, per our constitution, is that you must be of a certain age and you must be of sound mind. The New Patriotic Party cleared COP Alex Mensah to contest the Bekwai seats. That means that they believe that he's of sound mind. So this conversation about rehab centers and people getting high.
No, I didn't, Johnny. Don't.
No, I'm just asking. I'm also asking a question because.
No. Let me tell you something.
Yes, sir.
What I'm trying to say is that drug addiction is not good. People can be high, and when they get high and they continue to be high, they do things. But what I'm trying to say is that will not mean that the MPP, my conversation has nothing to even do with MPP. He has actually come out to say, because some of us are calling for, him to be brought back, our heads needs to be examined.
Right.
And what I'm saying is that probably let's build, what's the name?
Rehabilitation centers.
Rehabilitation centers. Mm-hmm. Because when people get high and they talk by heart. And so as far as I'm concerned, I would not directly say it is him. I won't say indirectly it is him. But I will tell you that people get high and, they say all manner of things. And the fact that MPP cleared him does not vitiate or does not take away the fact that he served as a police officer, and their police service regulation does not allow him to do what he did whilst he was in service. And this is a self-confessed person. And so all that I'm saying is that as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure Parliament is dealing with it.
Okay.
And Parliament will so deal with it. And I'm sure that the MPP, which he supposedly said he was scheming to do mafia work. You see, that is something we should not miss. He said you do mafia work so that when they give him IGP, he will do mafia work to make sure MPP doesn't leave.
Right.
That continues to stay in power. And that will be to undermine our sovereignty. Mm-hmm. And that is criminal. And so, as far as I'm concerned, the MPP have distanced themselves from it largely by way of Buama,
right.
and
Mensah Hayford, right? Ophelia Mensah Hayford.
Signing and saying that no, we don't agree to what these people what they try to draw us into. Which I think is beautiful. At the moment, it will be difficult for anyone to say MPP was involved in the plot or whatever they were trying to do, because Buama and Co have done what they have to do to ensure that at least the MPP as a party, maybe there could be individuals like them who attend, but as a party, they wouldn't want to do such a thing, Johnny. So, my saying that drug addiction and rehab centers, people, there are a lot of drug addicts in Ghana, but we have one or two just rehab centers. So when people get high and they continue to be high on illegal substances, I hear these days people even take time and glue and whatever. I think I've heard you on Johnny's Bite once mention those things. So I think that it's a very good advice, Johnny.
Anyway, I'll leave it here because I'm trying to understand the correlation, but I'll leave it. Now, COP Mamitiwa, Iyoko boss. The last time we spoke, you mentioned that she was also captured on the tape with another senior officer. And she has come to say that she has never threatened your family, as you seem to suggest. What do you say?
Oh, Johnny, as for you, you are so discerning, you are so... you are someone that I believe because of the nature of your work, sometimes it's difficult to question what you do and your intellect. But let me answer you directly. You have read what she put out. It's
Right.
a confession statement. Johnny, the things you do, you are almost like the last soldier standing. When everybody is run away, you are the last soldier standing, and I'm sure you will receive threats to your person.
Of course.
But you see, when people, known people to you, begin to call your spouse or your spouses or your friends, your family, and begin to tell them that they will go on their knees. Mami Yatiwa called my wife and said all manner of things. And then this came to the media domain. And then she goes back to the media domain, Star FM, in her bid to do a rebuttal. Now she did what is called a confession simpliciter. And what is my crime? My crime is that she's a public officer and she's superintendent over Cecilia Dapa Saga, and we petitioned. And apart from that, I also mentioned that in the lead tape, her name and one in Sia, and as in Sia Commission, I don't even know.
Right.
But their names came up, and it looks like that we missed it. And therefore, maybe we need to begin to discuss that. Those are my crimes. So she would have to call my wife and tell my wife, according to her now, not me talking, and go on her and tell my wife that when she goes on her knees and she prays, my whatever will happen, my wife will be a victim. The question I asked is that, Johnny, the work you do, why would anybody want to involve your wife and your children? Your father was in the service for years. At what point did whatever your father did, anybody call your mother to tell your mother that, you see, Johnny and Co and you, Johnny's mother, your life, whatever will happen to Mr. Your father
Mr.
is
Hughes.
Is that so? Yes, Mr. Hughes. Whatever will happen to Senior Officer Hughes, if you don't tell him, whatever will happen to him, Johnny and the mother and Co will be innocent victims. If this is not a threat, if this is not self-confessed, what do you call it, crime, then what is it? And this person is not an ordinary person in Ghana, Johnny. This person is one-time CID boss.
Right.
Under her, Ahmed Swale was shot in cold blood in Medina. Today, as we speak, the killers of Ahmed Swale have not been found. Today, as we speak. Then the question is that, did she go on her knees to pray to that her God? You know, people pray. Well, they have Kankanyami, they have Tigari, they have all manner of, they have all manner of gods or gods. People opiane ninyame. So, is her God the God that only likes blood? Because then under her, she came out to say Takradi girls have been found. Maybe her gods, she went on her knees and her gods told her that, but eventually her gods did the unthinkable. Maybe her God, she went on her knees again. When I said I have her on record to have told me that if she was a CID boss, she would kill the case. So she went on her knees and the case was brought to her. And in fact, she kills the case. So as for her gods only do bad things. So this is not a person you will take lightly, because the person has, you see, the kind of people who lead our organization in Ghana. This is a whole organized crime unit boss who was former CID boss and was part of National Security Council also. And a person like that does not actually even know that she has simply confessed to a crime. She doesn't know. And so my question I've asked this morning is that what business has my wife got to do with her? If you think I've done something,
but how did Madam get your wife's number?
Johnny, as for that, I think it's even immaterial. You see, if people are so diabolic, if people are very diabolic, it doesn't matter what you do. Their ill intentions will play out. They will go the extra length. They'll go the extra length to get whatever they want to get. As for how she got I have not even bothered to ask, but my point is that it's immaterial because...
But Adam Bona, that means that she was a very competent CID boss to have gone behind to get your wife's number. That shows that she can dig deeper.
No. You see, Johnny, as for she obviously will know people that I know.
Okay.
And some of those people will know my wife. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get you now.
But all that I'm trying to say is that, you see, as for if this is a criminal matter, and in establishing that, how she got the number might come up, but that will not be of substance. It is what she has put out is the substance. So I am actually not even bothered about how she got.
Have you reported to the police this threat?
I'm making a report, full report. The other I will not disclose, but I'm sure you will get to know later.
Right.
But one, after the law, I've done my reports, a petition, and I've stated which part of it I think is criminal and the sections, and I'm taking it to CID for CID to probe it. But my wife is in good spirits.
Okay.
And she's been bombarding her with messages of insults and all that.
Really?
Oh, yes.
When was the last one sent?
The last one might have been sent midnight.
Wow.
Bombarding her with, you threatened her. And you followed up with a text message to her to be given to me. And you said you meant it, so she should give it to me. Then when I saw it, I said, this woman, she means something. So then I put it out. Then now she attempts to, what do you call that, rebut. And her rebuttal, sheepishly, she didn't even know that she was confessing to a sin. In her attempt to rebut, you go on platforms, online platforms, and read comments. Ghanaians are so discerning. And read what Ghanaians are asking. Why did you call the man's wife to threaten her and her children and other family members? Why? If you think the man has done something to you, you know where to go to. You don't call the wife, because the wife is not the one who dealt with you. The wife is not the one disagreeing with you. The wife is so innocent of whatever disagreement you have with the general public and himself. And so why did you call? But you see, the impunity of power, just like you always say, the impunity of power. We have sunk so low in this country, so much so that this woman, who a self-confessed, call it, because she's confessed. I don't want to say criminal, but she's confessed to whatever she's done, which, if you ask me, it's confession simpliciter under the law. She just confessed to a crime. She didn't even know she was confessing. And this is the person who is actually put under organized crime units in Ghana. And she was CID boss. No wonder Ameswali was killed. And today, we don't know who killed Ameswali. No wonder she came out to say the Takrady girls have been found. And later, we only found bones.
So the quote I have here, attributed to Madam Tiwa from on Star FM online, says, I called the wife to plead to her conscience as a fellow woman because she wouldn't be happy if the least opportunity that Bona gets, he will lie about me. I told her that all that he has said doesn't mean anything to me, but if he doesn't stop, I will pray. If she doesn't call her husband, Dr. Bona, to order, I will go on my knees and I will pray to my God, and my God will listen. And she, the wife, might become an innocent victim. Because when I pray with an open heart and I tell God that this man is hurting me because he is lying about me, my God that I serve will listen to me. That's how she explained it. Why are you lying about the woman, Adam Bona?
Johnny,
yes,
Johnny, let me ask you. Me and you spoke about Cecilia Dapa, or we didn't?
Yes, sir.
The petition, we discussed it on your network.
Right.
Did I not sign the petition that went to Parliament?
You did. I remember.
Thank you. Me and you spoke about the audio tape that her name has been mentioned. Or it's not true, Johnny. Am I the one who mentioned her name?
No, you are not.
Thank you. So let me ask you, where are the lies? This one I'm asking you humbly. Where are the lies?
Well, she says she's ready to face you in Parliament.
Am I the one? Am I the one? I'm coming. Am I the one who asked her to come and contradict the AG and say the special prosecutor didn't do his work? When you feel people, public officers have not done what is right, the law requires us to take remedial measures. Myself and fellow Ghanaians, citizens, we have petitioned Parliament. The audio we are talking about, I am not caught on that audio. I didn't say, I wasn't there when they were talking.
Right.
And they mentioned her name. So let me ask you, which part of it is a lie? So mine is that, Johnny, this is a diabolical woman, very diabolic, because then I've given you these two instances of recent times.
92.7.
Show me where I lied. That will culminate into her calling my wife and telling my wife that if she goes on her knees, if her God, I don't know who her God is, because everybody is freedom of worship. Somebody worships a tree. Somebody worships a cow. Somebody worships Tigari. If her God, their God will listen to her. And so my wife and children become innocent victims. Johnny, this is not a self-confessed sinner.
Well,
someone
she said
who has just confessed to a crime.
So there's a quote here.
Else would it be?
There's a quote here that says, "I am ever prepared and ready to face Parliament because it will be an opportunity to educate people like Bona on the mandate of Yoko. Stop running to the media and face me." I thought that you and Mamitiwa were friends. So
no, I'm coming.
Yes.
Oh, Johnny, you see, if we are friends, today, me and you, we are friends.
Right.
And I get to know that you are doing something that is hurting Ghana. Please, I'm supposed to ensure that I will do the right thing.
Okay.
Please, me and you, Johnny, we are required by law that if I know that, Johnny, you are doing something that is hurting the country today, the RENA units, for you, you know these things better than I am. You have, what subjects have you not spoken about when it comes to corruption in Ghana?
All right.
So the RENA unit for 4 million cedis, 4 million is less than, it's just about $250,000 or so. For $4 million cedis per, the RENA unit was shut down. Today, people can buy food to eat. Today, look at fuel prices. Look at, what do you call it, food prices, cost of living. Look at, go to the airport, how many Ghanaians are living. Young Ghanaians who are supposed to till the soil, who are supposed to work in our factories, if we have them, are leaving the country. Not in one soul, but in tens and hundreds. So if monies like this are found under one person's bed, according to special prosecutor, and we ask that a probe should be instituted so that to know what these state agencies did and what they didn't do. So that if they, whatever laws they are, probably even so that let's see. So that, so if she knew that she could go and defend herself in Parliament, why call my wife? If you feel that you have done everything proper, you are a public officer, for crying aloud. Me, Johnny, I am a private man. I am not, the taxpayer doesn't pay me. If I ever work, I am appointed somewhere to work. I will be careful when the people I'm supposed to be serving talk. I will talk to them with humility. I will not call their wives and spouses and threaten them because
I see.
If I don't want my name to be called, then I have no business in public life. I should leave. But once I'm in public life and the taxpayer is paying me, the taxpayer has every legitimate right to call me to order and let me know that, hey, what I'm doing is not good. If I have anything, let me do it better. And if I have any apology, if I have any explanation, let me give it to them.
Doc, what do you
call my wife?
What do you say, Doc?
Threaten my wife.
Doc, what do you say to those who say that, look, all this pull and push, you at each other, Madam Tiwa called your wife, you say she's threatened, you're reporting to the police and all of that.
No, but
the person over which you are doing all of this, Madam Cecilia Dapa, what do you say to those who say On Timo case, she's at a place, she's resting, and you people are at each other's throat in public. What do you say to that?
Oh, you have just 1 I'll stop.
Okay, so we'll have to fetch Dr. Bona back. Sorry about that. I apologize. Sorry about that. I apologize profusely. Yes, and Helen, will you call my wife if I offend you?
Oh, absolutely not. It will be a one-on-one affair.
You will face me.
It will be a one-on-one affair.
You will face me.
I would face
Or
you,
you
but
go on your knees to pray with an open heart.
as per what Madam Tiwa Adedankwa is letting it be known, according to what she said, according to the reports that we're reading, she said she merely called Dr. Bona's wife to plead with her conscience.
So she actually called.
She's not denying it.
Well, so why would she call and not go to Parliament to answer the query?
Or even set up her own press conference,
Right.
a presser to educate us, as she
Educate
said,
us
on what the
functions
mandate
of
is
Yoko.
and so on and so forth. It's getting murky, and I don't think that call should have been placed. It's opened a can of worms. It's essential that persons who have been given her sort of responsibility exercise their duties very cautiously. From where I sit, as the story is unraveling, the optics, they don't look good. They don't look good to
why
me.
would you-
They don't sound good to me at all.
So from the beginning, or in the beginning, people in authority, there's that perception that people in authority always want to use that authority to press people down.
That's right.
People who don't have the authority. That's one.
Intimidation tactics.
Intimidation tactics. Number two, the intimidation is even worse when the people are within the security setup. Yoko, police, military, whatever it is, they are all within the security setup. So if somebody comes from that point with some intimidation, you can feel it, right? Now, for the ordinary woman, and I'm using ordinary here advisedly, Adam Bona's wife, who is not in the public, I don't know her. Even though I know Adam Bona, we have had many interactions. I don't know Adam Bona's wife, and he has done very well keeping her out of the public domain because of what he does. Why would anybody cross and go and call, if I make an allegation about you and you think it is not true, you have my number.
That's right.
If you don't want to talk to me or don't want to hear my voice, send me a text or send me a WhatsApp message and say, stop going on this tangent about me because it is not true. Here are the facts, But to call the woman to say, I am appealing to your conscience, now it moves from the domain of facts and what the truth is into a domain of emotions. And somebody will say, well, was she trying to emotionally blackmail the woman or was she not? Because if you tell the woman that I will go on my knees and I'll pray, and if you don't take care, you may become the innocent victim, because whatever would happen to your husband would make you the innocent victim and the rest. A certain ripple effect, I don't know. I mean, from a public officer, this is unacceptable. It's very unacceptable. And completely unacceptable. I mean, 2 days ago, I spoke about the National Road Safety Authority. When I finished, the board chairman, Mr. Jermaine, he found my number. I don't know where from, but my number is not hard to find. He found my number. He sent me a voice note, and then I connected with him. I gave his number to Sixtus because I told him, well, I'll let Sixtus connect with him. He connected, and yesterday he was here for the interview. He called me, or he contacted me directly. He didn't call my wife.
Yeah.
I had said things about the NRSA. Most of the things he admitted.
That's right.
That he has even hit a snag. He didn't call my wife to say he will go on his knees to pray and my wife will become, the victim. I don't get it.
And Johnny, I really like that you brought in Mr. Jermaine Nkrumah's analogy, because yesterday when he came, as per what you had done on Johnny's Bite, you asked him the questions, and by giving us a breakdown of what he is going through, you listen to the callers. Every caller, almost every other caller said they sympathize with him, and they said, "Okay, thank you for the clarity and thank you for the honesty. It puts things into perspective." And he left. We had a beautiful engagement. All of you said it was a wonderful interview. There are so many ways, if you are in public office, or to let the people know what you are doing and to answer questions that are targeted at you. Like you said, had Mr. Nkrumah decided to call Mrs. Hughes to let her know that he's going to be on his knees praying, and she should be careful because the ripple effect might touch her, might touch or bring pong, God forbid.
So, Yesterday, one of the things that Mr. Nkrumah said is that he saw a journalist with a lot of passion and love for nation speaking about the things that ought to be done right. That speaks volumes. That he saw it. So how we look at things, that as for this one, he doesn't like me. So you already formed the perception. That's why I asked Adam Bona, but you are friends. And Adam explained that, look, we are friends, yes, but if I have indication to show that you are doing something that will hurt the nation, I will set our friendship aside because it's nation first before everything else. You get the point. And yesterday, Mr. Nkrumah raised the same point about the neighbor who, had called for him to intervene in a traffic offense that had been committed, And he said, look, he found himself in a fix.
That's right. Very sticky situation.
I'm still thinking about how Madame picked up the phone to call Adam Bona's wife. I still can't get it.
I'm not sure.
I still cannot get it. So if everybody decides to call everybody's wife or husband, will we ever get anything said? Everybody calls. I talk about the Ghana army and they call my wife. I talk about police and they call my wife. I talk about this and they call my wife.
You especially, your phone will be very busy. Mrs. Hughes, her phone will never stop ringing. Those who join the queue to call in.
Let's wrap up with Adam Bona quickly, so we have to go. Doc, sorry about that. In closing, now we know the details. We know that Madame called your wife. We know that you are interested, as you have said, in just getting the facts out and to get the best for Ghana. But what next? You have reported to the police and etc. What next in wrapping up?
Oh, this broke yesterday. I'm done with my petition
Right.
in the form of a report to the police CID to go today. There's another organization. I'm also, I'm petitioning Parliament. I'm sending another one to Parliament to formally inform Parliament that my family, including myself, have come under threat after being a member of the general public, citizen who signed this petition, so that I put them on notice that this is what has happened, and this threat is coming from no other person than Madam Tiwa, and she and I are the exhibits in terms of evidence of her self-confessed statements.
I see. Now, as a matter of interest, you mentioned earlier when we began the conversation that you want to advocate for more rehab centers. We also petitioned the Mental Health Authority to look at these rehab centers.
Yeah, I will do that, yes. I'm sure by within the month, I'm likely to petition, the National Health Authority and then the Mental Health Authority and then the Ministry of, Health. I will get all of them involved to see that if they can make a budget so that we can get good rehab centers in, Ashanti region, in various constituencies in Greater Accra, in the Upper West, so that those who are high on substances, both young and senior citizens who are high on substances and they talk anyhow and they threaten anyhow, they can seek relief. They can go there for proper rehabilitation, Johnny.
Adam Bona, thank you very much indeed for your time. Dr. Adam Bona is a security analyst with Security Warehouse, and he joined us here on the phone line. Would you have repeated?
Nothing. I went to the committee, I spoke the truth. Nothing.
Would you have repeated what you told the media house to the committee if you had been allowed to answer?
Media house? What did I tell the media house?
Well, you told the media house that you have always been a card-bearer member of the MPP. You had supported projects underground and all of that.
I even told the committee that I was born into the New Patriotic Party and I will remain a member of the New Patriotic Party for life. So I won't change it. How can I change it?
There are those who are calling for your head in terms of bringing you back to the service and trying you